your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Welcome to Wednesday, 9:02 on this 17th day of January. CJ Nasello, it's our daily show on RiverBender.com, Roku TV, anywhere and everywhere you get your podcast. And we got a great show for you yet again today. We have been full all month of January. You know, last year it was kind of dead around this time, so me being me, I kind of expected the same thing and thought I'd have to talk a lot more. But this is great. We got more great conversations, including Third on Third with Lisa Webb and 3rd Street Realty. That comes your way in about 18 minutes' time. But who's counting? Then we're going to be talking to Joe's Market Basket around 10:10, and we're going to be getting some just tips on how to keep your plants inside your house, you know, nice and safe and taking care of them, because I'm telling you what, I have the kiss of death for any plant that's inside of a building. I'm telling you, I either overwater the thing and drown it, or I leave it as dry as the Sahara, and then that sucker's falling right over. So we're going to get tips and tricks and see if I can make my office, you know, a little bit more beautiful. Then 10:30, we're talking to Jason Harrison and getting all of the details on all the things he's working on. I mean, he is somebody in our community that really puts the work in each and every day, and we're going to talk about Lamays Catering. We'll talk Cafe 111. We'll talk about the food truck. We'll talk about everything with Jason, and we'll have a great time doing it. But at 9:03, all that comes down the pipeline in the next 2 hours. If you want to send any questions in, you have anything you want to ask, 618-759-7469, and, you know, I'll read them out. At 9:03, here's what's happening around the Riverbend. Make sure you sign up for your daily email update where you'll never miss out. You can join myself and over 70,000 people that are truly in the know each and every day of the work week and on Saturdays with Around the Riverbend. We'll take you to Edwardsville first. Developing overnight, Dalton Brown has the latest out of Edwardsville. Residents at Tuesday's City Council meeting shared a range of perspectives for and against the overnight warming location operating out of First Baptist Church at 534 St. Louis Street in Edwardsville, following an announcement from Mayor Art Rizvi. Rizvi announced at the meeting that he has asked his staff to suspend a citation that was issued against the church for operating as a warming location without a special use permit. He said the city never planned to shut the center down and no fines were ever imposed or collected. Here's his quote. "I've been working with urgency to try to resolve our issues with the overnight warming location at First Baptist Church," the mayor said. He continued, "It was never our intent to prevent it from operating, particularly at a time of such dangerous weather conditions. And please know, there were no fines ever imposed or collected." The mayor's account of events varies greatly from claims made last week by the overnight warming location on their Facebook page that they had been served a cease and desist letter by the city to stop operating in the church, or else they would face daily fines of $750. The mayor also said the permit requirement was solely for the safety of those inside the warming center, a claim later questioned during public comments. Here's a final statement from the mayor. The city's concern was only that the facility was safe for those people staying there and volunteering there. And we're truly sorry that anyone believes any other reasoning might be true. Tonight, I am announcing that I have directed staff to suspend the citation and cancel the municipal court appearance that has been scheduled for this week, which was on Thursday. Our hope is to continue a conversation with First Baptist Church so we can be a part of a solution for those that are unhoused or in dire circumstances. Neighborhood resident Dylan Anderson Anderson, one of the most vocal opponents of the Owls' permitless operation in the city council meeting, spoke again on Tuesday and accused them of mounting a social media and traditional media campaign against city residents. It's not responsible to incite an online mob and send them viciously towards people who disagree with them, he said. He continued, it's not responsible to run directly to the media and throw your entire city under the bus to get your way. I'm not even necessarily opposed to this church trying to help, but what I'm opposed to is an outside organization coming in our town and bullying residents into getting their way. They say God calls on them. God calls on them to love their neighbors, and what they've done is a weird way of expressing that, and that's the quote from the resident, Dylan Anderson. Michelle Babb, secretary of Glen Ed Ministerial Alliance, claimed First Baptist had already had the required permit for decades. She said she doesn't condone any calls for violence against or doxing any elected leaders, but also doesn't believe that the safety of the unhoused is the city or public's primary concern in this case. Another resident expressed her disappointment at the city's decision to drop the citation against Al. She doesn't believe organizations should get to, quote, bully the city into getting what they want. She also claimed that an Al representative gave an hour's notice before failing to show up to a city-organized forum on the 6th of December, which was meant to find solutions between Al and neighborhood residents. Instead, Al representatives reportedly offered residents a list of answers to frequently asked questions. Finally, a fourth resident spoke in support of the Al and the city's decision to drop the citation, commending the city's religious community for coming together to provide a life-saving service and claiming that another resident lost both of their feet last year because of the extreme cold. In closing, they said they were glad to see the city and Al trying to move forward a more productive conversation. For the full public comments portion and more discussion on this issue about the Edwardsville Al, it's available on the RiverBender.com article, The City Council Meeting in its entirety. In Godfrey, Dan Brandon reporting that 4 have been charged with knowingly taking possession of merchandise offered for sale at the Godfrey Walmart at 6660 Godfrey Road without paying the retail value of said merchandise. Each has been charged with 1 count of retail theft over $300. Ramon D. Hickman, 25 years of age, Hickman faces a retail theft of over $300 charge for allegedly taking multiple bottles of liquor and electronics, having a total value in excess of $300 with intention of permanently depriving the merchant of the possession of such merchandise without paying the retail theft of the merchant or the retail value of the merchandise. Malcolm J. Beal was also charged. He faces a count of retail theft over $300 for allegedly removing multiple bottles of liquor and electronics, having a value of excess and more of $300 with the intention of permanently depriving the merchant of said property. Jeremiah D. Fury faces retail theft over $300 for allegedly taking food items and various merchandise with the intent of, again, permanently depriving the merchant. Dion White is charged with retail theft over $300 and faces the charge of taking video games, exercise equipment, and various merchandise from Walmart store in Godfrey. Please note that all suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Out of South Roxana, Mayor T.J. Callahan and South Roxana Police Department have shown a heartwarming display of community solidarity in a fundraising campaign for Wyatt Owens, an 18-year-old area resident who is battling Hodgkin's lymphoma. The South Roxana Police Department has committed to making a donation, setting a precedent for others. Wyatt is a beloved high school senior who has been sidelined from his favorite sport, hockey, because of his chemotherapy and physical challenges, and the treatment has had a huge financial burden for his family. Mayor Callahan said this is more than just a donation. It's a statement of our community's compassion. The support from the village of South Roxana is a beacon of hope, inspiring others to contribute to this noble cause. The Dog Nation Hockey Foundation is at the forefront of the fundraising and has a 3-to-1 match for donations of up to $2,500. Mayor Callahan encourages community members to join the upcoming Dog Nation Winter Classic and other events to raise funds for this cause. A final quote from Mayor Callahan: "This is a time for us to bond together for Wyatt and show the strength of our community. Every effort counts in helping Wyatt and his family." To learn more about this cause, you can visit DAWGNationSTL.org, and you can / Wyatt Owens or click on the hyperlink on the RiverBender.com article. That will take you directly to it. Out of Wood River, the year ended on a great note for the city. After a very busy summer, they moved into the fall months and holiday times with enthusiasm and expectations of an exciting new year to carry the momentum of growth and improvements throughout our community. On October 7th, the annual Food Truck Festival was held at Central Park. The Enrichment Network was thanked for all of their work on the great event that was enjoyed by all. On October the 18th, the Child Advocacy Center celebrated 20 years of service to child victims of abuse and their families. City officials attended the anniversary ribbon cutting. On the 21st of October, the Wood River Chili Cook-Off, sponsored by the Business Alliance, was held downtown. It was a great competition with great chili, and fun was had by all. The Pump House was awarded in that event Grand Champion the second year in a row. The Daughters of the American Revolution held a headstone dedication. 2 headstones were dedicated on the 22nd of October. They want to thank the Daughters of the American Revolution for their work and dedication to keep this historic, sacred part of our history relevant and up to date. Also on the 26th of October, they honored Officer Tyler Timmons with the dedication of Tyler Timmons Drive. Officer Timmons was killed in the line of duty while working for the Pontoon Beach Police Department. Tyler was born and raised in Wood River and started his law enforcement career in Wood River. On the 28th of October, the annual Halloween parade was held, and Long community partners Bob and May Caston were parade marshals. Some say this was the best parade ever. They want to thank the fire department for their hard work every year coordinating this great event for their community. On the 9th, the City of Wood River in November received the Outstanding Community Partner Award from the Heartland Conservancy, and they want to congratulate City Manager Steve Palin. For a full rundown of all the great events and things that happened in Wood River in 2023, that's available on the RiverBender.com article. As Wood River continues to grow, new businesses are opening almost monthly, and in December, the city celebrated 2 ribbon cuttings and grand openings. On December 2nd, the Cheesecake Lady, and December the 15th, Atomic Pinball. A quote from the mayor: "I hope that you had a safe and happy holiday season. We look forward to a very successful 2024. Thank you to all city department heads and their employees for all you do for the citizens of our city." At 9:13, Dalton Brown reporting out of Belleville that Shannon Stelling will, with the home builders and remodelers of the Metro East Association, recently emphasized the importance of trades and highlighted this month's Trade Student of the Month and discuss the Home Expo 2024 right here on our daily show. In addition to thousands of dollars of giveaway prizes, including an $18,000 hot tub, you got that right. The event will feature 130 vendors, pet adoptions through the Belleville Area Humane Society, hourly performances from local school groups, bands, choirs, dance teams, and more, as well as several local celebrities, including myself, radio personalities, on the following dates and times. Tim Azell and the Studio STL crew will be there Friday, March 8th. Favaz will be there with Keishi Friday, March the 8th. Courtney will be there Saturday. And Billy Greenwood will be there on Sunday, March the 10th. And I'll be there sometime on Saturday. I just haven't given Shannon a time yet. Attendees who bring cat or dog food to the event to donate to the Humane Society will also get a second entry into a chance to win the mini giveaway prizes. For more details about the 2024 Home Expo, you can watch the full interview with Shannon right here on RiverBender.com /daily show. We also shined a spotlight on this month's Trade Student of the Month, Nicholas Day, one of the many success stories to come from the Center of Academic and Vocational Excellence, the CAVE program, a current metal machining student who plans to start an apprenticeship upon graduation. With the shining spotlight on local trades and students, the 2024 Home Expo inching closer. Stellan said that interest in the trades has been trending upwards recently and added that even older, more experienced trade workers remember all the parts of their job, including the future trade operators in our community. She notes that many older, experienced tradesmen remember the first home they built, can identify structures they had a hand in building, as well as the travel around their communities, giving a sense of pride in seeing everything they've built and accomplished. To learn more about the 2024 Home Expo, this student's Trade Student of the Month, and more opportunities available with the home builders and remodelers, you can see the full interview with Stelling at RiverBender.com /daily show. One last bit of news for you out of Glen Carbon. On the 20th of January, Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois. We'll talk to Loretta Graham hopefully sometime next week. We'll kick off the 2024 Girl Scout cookie season. Get those Thin Mints ready to go. Girl Scouts throughout the area will hold cookie booths, visit customers door to door, a little solicitation, and sell to friends and family online as they box their futures as young female entrepreneurs through the world's largest entrepreneurial program for girls. This year's Girl Scout Cookie Program theme, Unbox the Future, it aims to remove social barriers that often keep girls boxed in. When bold, goal-setting Girl Scouts sell a package of cookies, they're doing more than that, what seems at face value. Every box of cookies sold provides invaluable experience for Girl Scouts, such as service projects, troop travel, STEM programming, and more. Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois serves 6,500 girls and engages nearly 3,400 adults in 40 counties in Southern Illinois. You can call 800-345-6858 for more information today. At 9:16, let's take a look at the weather. Yeah, you got that right. It's over 10 degrees for the first time in a week. 16 degrees on the thermometer and on the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Thank you, Mike, for that addition. It feels like 14 degrees today, mostly sunny, breezy this afternoon. Considerable cloudiness and a bit of snow toward dawn tonight with little to no accumulation. Temperatures will reach, get this, 36 degrees today. Heck yes, dropping down to 25 overnight as we head into Thursday with a 70% chance of snow Thursday, a high of 36, but let's get back to reality. Temperatures on Thursday will drop to 9 degrees overnight as we head into Friday. On Friday, we can expect a high of around 10 degrees, a low of around 2 to -1, multiple sites calling. On Saturday, the 20th, you can expect a high of 15 degrees and a low of 5 degrees. And then on Sunday, we start to heat up a little bit. 28 degrees for the high, 24 for the low. For the Alton webcam and to see that beautiful skyline, it's available on RiverBender.com /weather and for time and temperature throughout the day. Give this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Tom Lane. He's your local State Farm agent. Before we take a quick break, the month of January, people are talking about dry January. I've been following it pretty closely. Hanging in there. Ducking punches. But, we never really talk about treating ourselves in January. It's all about, that resolution phase of getting back to normal, reining ourselves in. Treat yourself. Treat yourself to something that's actually going to benefit you. Treat yourself to a checking account that packs on the rewards. Now paying up to 5%. Listen to that, 5% APY, making every day more rewarding. Yeah, how about that? Everyday purchases with an account that does more with your money. Our accounts at First Mid-America come fully loaded, ready to serve you and all of your needs, big or small. So why don't you do this? All you have to do is open an account today at firstmidamerica.org. That's firstmidamerica.org. You can find all the branch locations. I use the one out on Godfrey Road and throughout the Riverbend region. They're available to you. firstmidamerica.org, firstmidamerica.org, and open that account today. Lisa Webb joins us next. Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
Timber!
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Is live today at 9:23 and a little bit of change. 17th day of January. It's 16 degrees and Lisa Webb's in studio. How were the grandkids yesterday?
Doing good. They're
Georgie
good.
Okay?
Yeah.
He's my buddy.
Yeah. Well, you know, they've been going around with the colds and RSV and all of that, and he's the one that's gotten it the worst. So he just can't seem to get it. But they destroyed the house, so they did what they were supposed to. It's like, oh.
Doing what grandkids do best.
I dropped them off at daycare this morning, and I just went, here. And all the little daycare workers started laughing because he has permanent marker here and here and here. And his sister drew a happy face on his leg and permanent marker. I'm like, here, go. So they're back to mom today. So
I just think it's great because Georgie's such a happy-go-lucky kid, and it's just fun.
Funny.
Whenever we got to close the house with Georgie, that was an experience.
That
was good.
That's right. Yeah, he was
buddy.
working. He was doing his job.
Well, speaking of, I think we made the right call here. Now, I am going to say I think the water line is a little bit in question. We're going to change that because it was weird. I had my water dripping.
Uh-huh.
Doing what you should do. Leave the valve open.
Mm-hmm.
the cold side ran fine on that exterior wall, but the hot water would not come on.
That's something.
Isn't that weird with the faucet being open?
Yeah, I'm not a plumber, but I would have thought the other way.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So anyway, I thought, okay, well, we got to fix this. But everything else, Lisa, amazing.
Good.
I mean,
Good.
seriously.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I got to ask you, and I don't know, maybe you know this just from your home owning experience, I got to get this condensation off my window.
Oh,
You know, it's because of that one cold side hidden by that tree, and I'm like, man, I got like a sheet of ice going on over here.
Yeah, the one thing though that you may want to check is you may have a seal broken.
Oh, I
on
bet
the
you're
inside.
right.
So if there's a seal broken, you're gonna get that because it's not fully sealed.
Yeah.
Your window's still working and it does what it needs to.
yeah.
But if there's a seal that's broken, then you're gonna get that. Now, I mean, you can replace a pane and redo it. You don't need a new window, but that's probably what's going on there.
Well, it was great. I mean, my house is holding up fine. You know, there's
Good.
no complaints. Basement's dry, and especially with
good.
all the water that's getting
Yeah.
ready to thaw and come down. I mean, everything's great and warms up in 2 seconds.
Good.
My heater's only turned on 3 times a day.
Oh, mine hasn't stopped.
That's why I think Ameren was like confused when they sent me my bill because they were like, "Well, it's only $80 this month." But
Oh my goodness,
did you
really?
Oh, I couldn't believe. I'm telling you, I have like the greatest house.
We're not gonna.
Yeah, no kidding. But,
Whoops, we made a mistake.
but you really put.
So are you gassed? I can't remember. Are you gas and electric?
Gas and electric.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that gas is nice. You know, it's a little bit more expensive, but it does the job.
Yeah, our house is small like yours, and it's all electric, and ours doesn't quit. It just goes and goes and goes. It's like,
Well, I seen that you had your first property sale of the year on your Facebook. Where was that one at?
your Godfrey house.
I kept talking about it. I knew it was going to come. I just thought there's potential there.
Yeah.
And it seems like the group that took it over, that bought it's really going to be doing some good
I
stuff.
hope so. Yeah, they do renovations. So hopefully, they'll. I'm assuming they're flipping. I don't know, but it should be really nice when they're done. So.
Well, and then I saw that the one on Wickenhauser was getting a lot of attention. Did that go under contract yet?
Not yet. We're in multiple offers on Albers and Bethalto. So,
really?
So that one has multiple offers sitting there waiting for them to, the bank to decide.
That's awesome. Well, I'm telling you, there's so much potential in your properties, and that's why I love talking about them because, for so many people, especially in the inflation where we're at in terms of lumber and how much it costs for materials, it's one of those things where these houses are affordable, they're smaller, so you don't have to put in a huge amount of overhead if you want to get started, and it's great properties. I mean, they have so much charm to them.
Yeah, and it's nice because like the one on Wickenhauser and the one on Albers, they're ranch-style houses.
Yeah.
So, it's not a two-story to where you got to do the bedrooms up and this on the main. They're ranch, so you can renovate. If you don't want to conquer the basement yet, you don't have to. Just leave it as storage or whatnot. But Wickenhauser, it's getting a little bit more attraction. It needs some love done to it. The preservation companies that work for these banks, they're few and far between, and sometimes their work is less than desirable, so
That's
us
fair.
as the agents have to go back and say, well, they didn't do this, we need them to do that. And my husband has his own preservation company, and so he's been doing it for years and years and years, so we know what to look for. And so
Does it help a lot having that resource in Grover?
Yeah,
I bet.
absolutely. Because we know what to look for. So then if the asset managers are saying, well, Lisa, they said they did the sales clean. I'm looking at the pictures. I said, well, let me tell you how that happened. And then let me tell you how it really needs to be done, because I know those signs.
Yeah.
I think Grover's done his own preservation for, 14 years maybe.
We got to get him in studio and talk about some of the jobs he's been on. You were talking about just being cold. I mean, he was outside yesterday too, going in, and that's a tough thing.
Yeah.
I felt bad for anyone that has to work in any type of outside environment.
We went out on Saturday because Sunday was supposed to be really cold, so we went out on Saturday and did a whole outline. We started off in Brighton, and we went all the way down to Steelville, all the way over to Belleville, all the way to where else did I go? I went somewhere else, but he had properties he had to go check. I had properties I had to go check. So Saturday we just did that all day and just made this big route. because Sunday was supposed to be really super cold. And then yesterday he did go out and do some for him and for me because we had grandkids at home. So, it is. It doesn't stop. We still have to go out, and even more so when the weather's bad, because the bank expects us to be eyes on the ground, So if something breaks, like water pipes or whatever, we got to be able to get that
I didn't
fixed.
even think about that with those properties. So does that fall on you too? Whenever?
Yeah,
okay.
like if it's an emergency, then we go ahead and fix it and then invoice and say, hey, this is an emergency fix.
Wow.
But if it's not an emergency, but yet it still needs to be done, then I have to submit a report going, this happened or this happened. We called the police. We didn't call the police, whatever the case is. So it falls on us. We have to manage it. And, that's just...
I never even thought about that, though, in the wintertime, especially with a vacant house with no water running. That's going to happen.
Yeah, we just have to keep an eye on it, and make sure and everything. So, even in the cold, we still have to
Do you see more foreclosures in the winter months?
Not necessarily. Okay. A lot of the times, especially during the holidays, the foreclosure process slows down a bit because the banks usually slow down between certain months right up to Christmas and New Year, and then it starts to pick back up. So I know in December I had back-to-back. I have so many new properties that are coming to the market that are foreclosures. So after the first of the year, it's going to start picking back up. Courts are back in session and things like that. So
back to reality.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's really kind of it's a fantastic way to see the information that you provide too, because you had to start your Facebook all over again.
Yeah, and, that was a mess, and it is. And the one thing that I will share with everybody is do your 2-part authorization.
Yes.
Because my other one was not. Yep. So do that, and then a friend of mine, she's a virtual assistant. She
is that Gail?
No,
oh, okay.
But Gail's good too.
I remember Gail.
Gail's good too. No, this is another friend, but she said on my business pages, make sure somebody else on your business page is an admin, because then if I get blocked out, they're not, and they can at least go in and stop the hackers from coming in. So if you look for me on Facebook, there is a new Facebook page. I do have a new business page. The other 2 business pages are just sitting idle because I don't have access to them.
Right.
But what had happened is somebody did a fraudulent Instagram account, tagged that to my Facebook page. So Facebook suspended my Facebook page and said, go to your Instagram account to fix what you're doing wrong, but it wasn't my Instagram account. So I couldn't get into it. And I just keep emailing them. And
well, the hard part about it is, Lisa, is whenever you start your new account over, because of all the accounts that get hacked with those weird messages, when you send a Facebook message from when you're not friends with somebody, a lot of times they're like, oh, this is a fake account, even though I promise it's the real Lisa.
It is. Because when you look at the dates, it's like, oh, they're a member since 2024 or 2023 or whatever it is, And it's like, I try to just keep...
just keep swimming.
2024 just did not start off well with that aspect of it, because people don't understand when you're a business and you use social media for all of this, it's a big domino effect. So like my listings on my website, they're still not connected to my business page. I can't get it to reconnect with my auto posts. Same thing with some of my other CRM stuff. I don't auto post yet. And so I'm having to go back and redo hours and hours and hours of work on something because somebody just, I don't know what these hackers think whenever they do it. I mean, it's not like they got any money or anything like that. So I don't know. So
it's just terrible.
But, to the public, if you do a lot on Facebook, make sure you protect your accounts, especially if you're a business, because I don't know how many contacts I've had on Facebook, and I can't remember everybody.
No.
And
then they're gone. I mean, you just gotta...
it's not like I can go back and look and go, oh, okay, let's add them and them.
Well, what's wild is that happened to me years ago. I had to get a new Facebook, and I had my primary email, my personal one is what I use for everything. So I get emails from my old Facebook notifications. You can't find my page, my old one. It's gone, but I still get the notification.
Oh, no kidding.
And there's people, what the bad part is, being real for a second, there was a cute girl that sent me a message and I got an email about, and it's like, well, I can't just send her a message on this new account because maybe it's weird. I don't know what she even sent me. You know, I could have been an FU. I don't know. I was on Facebook yesterday and I saw you put out some information on the types of home loans and also that the grants are starting to becoming affluent again, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did receive some information from a lender partner friend of mine, several other ones as well. But the good thing about 2024 is your grant programs will be starting back up because funding will be available.
Right.
And so she did, and I saved the screenshot because I want to make sure I say it correctly. So she did send me a message, and so this particular lending institution, this is with Heartland Bank, Sue Kress, and she's a friend of mine. And they have, starting now, the $10,000 grant funds are now available for 2024. So this is what they call the Down Payment Plus program.
I didn't do that one.
No, you did not do that one. But with this one here, it does say that the grant funds are now available for 2024 and will remain at $10,000. So if you're looking to buy, if you're a first-time home buyer, or maybe you're not a first-time home buyer, but you still need help with that down payment assistance, then this is an avenue that you can look at and pursue. And myself can sit down with you and go over what you're looking for, what would be the good fit for you, and then we can partner and connect you with a great local lender to help you through those processes and learn more about the programs. I did bring...
There was a loan on there in that sheet that you have with you and you posted on Facebook. That was I had never heard of the loan before. I haven't heard of half of them, I'm going to be honest with you. But there was one, it might have been the jumbo, there was a weird loan that I had never heard of, but it seemed like it was a catch-all loan in a way. Is that what that is?
So you have, and it cut part of that off. But those are whenever they're used to purchase. Sometimes people do a jumbo loan. A lot of times commercial and business things are jumbo loans.
Okay.
They take on more of a loan. You can lump things together. It's a higher down payment that is required, at least 10% for the most part. Again, I'm not a lender, but that's my disclaimer. But that is it's a private mortgage backed by lenders and investments. So it's not something that is governed by, say, the U.S. Federal Housing Authorization Authority or anything like that. It's a private mortgage. But what I wanted to share is because I think everybody gets the misconception that you have to have 20% down. And I know people talk about that a lot, but it still doesn't resonate with people that you don't have to put 20% down. So what happens if you get a loan and you put 20% down, then that means that on some conventional loans and things like that, your PMI, your mortgage insurance, could go away because you put down 20% of your home value. Now, say you do a conventional loan and you don't put down 20%, you'll have your PMI insurance that you have to pay. So it's a fee, it adds on to your monthly payment.
Right.
And it'll continue to be there until you reach 20% of the value, and then that drops off. So sometimes people, when they're buying a home, they'll have people go, oh, put 20%, so you can get rid of that PMI so you don't have to pay that extra money. That's true, but not everybody can do that.
Yeah. Well, and I can see that for sure, especially because that's what I thought at first. I'm like, there is no way I'm going to get 20% to put down on a house. And I think you're right. I think 90% of prospective first-time home buyers go, there's no way, let's just rent.
Yeah. So let's look at that a little bit. When you look at your FHA loans, which FHA loans, the minimum credit score is 580. So a lot of times people, will go, well, I can't get a loan because my credit score isn't 700. my credit score is 620 or 680 or somewhere in there. I can't get a loan. Well, that's not necessarily true. And there is some local lenders that also have some programs that are in-house that they can look at doing somebody with a lower credit score because they're going to look at their portfolio.
Right.
So that's something that can help some of these people that have a lower credit score. But an FHA loan is $580 for your credit score. 3.5% down. Is all you need.
Wow.
You do have to have home buyers with limited credit access. That's best for these people. Home buyers with limited credit access and first-time home buyers. So if you think about it, you don't have a lot of credit. Your credit's here at 580. This is a good fit for you because you don't have a lot to go on. You take this 3.5% down and you take and partner that with the Alton Madison County grant or this grant. That 3.5% is going to go away because this grant is going to help cover your down payment.
Right. And it's huge. And I think, honestly, Lisa, I would love for more and more young people that maybe they just found their career job in the area or wherever they're at to really utilize that because they could save, in my opinion, a lot more money if renting's not the best fit for them, but they're doing it because that's what's affordable.
Right.
It might be better to wait 3 or 4 months, maybe just have a small nest egg, just a small one, and then you could go FHA on this with Madison County and do what you did with me.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's... like my son doesn't have credit, and so what he did, and some people out there that don't have a lot of credit, go to your bank and get a credit card that you pay. So you get a credit card and you say, okay, my credit card's going to be $300. You pay that $300 up front, but it's a credit card still. You go and use it for gas. You go and use it for whatever. You pay that off. And you do that for about 6 months, you're establishing credit.
So another thing, too, that I did, because when I lost the business, my credit score was 480. I mean, it was awful.
Yeah.
And what I did is, because no one would accept me, like everyone laughed. And it's a hard thing to get back out of the cellar.
Yeah.
I went to Finger Hut, which rejected me at first.
Yeah.
But this Finger Hut is actually it helped me raise my credit score by 200 points.
Oh, I'll be darned.
In about 2 years. And it's, $20 a month purchases, but anyone could be able to try
No
it.
shopaholics, stay away from Finger Hut.
No. Just I only got one thing, and I just used that, and I would just pay off little things, and just use it that way. But I went from a 480 to a 690. I just checked yesterday, and I thought, what's happening? You know?
So there's ways out there.
Yeah.
So you sit down with your professional and the realtor. You sit down with your lender, and you discuss where you are, where you need to be, and how to get there. So there's ways to bump your credit up quickly without having to work years and years and years and years.
How embarrassing is it maybe I phrased this wrong, but to me, you have to, it goes back to what you said when you first came on this show, that you have to be honest, especially when you're talking about something like this, because we're going to find out what your credit score is. And I can only imagine how embarrassing it is for an individual that's like, well, I need this house. I gotta sell myself to this agent and this lender, And then we find out you don't have the credit for this. You have a 590 credit score, 610. Which is fine, but now you're kind of feeling a little shameful when you could have just sat down, been honest, and figured out the steps to really get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a buyer over the weekend looking at a house, and he was like, well, I'm going through a divorce, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. He goes, that was probably way too much more information than what you needed. I'm like, no, you need to feel free. Tell me those things, because then I need to know. I know what I'm looking at.
Right.
We need to get you a place. You had this divorce going on. It was through, you had another house. So that's going to show up. So a lender's going to need to know, all of this kind of stuff. Can you get a loan with your name on this other house? You're divorced. That's still your name on there. So do you have enough assets and enough income that you can get a loan? So you got to look at those type of things, because
I never thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're married, you bought your house together, you're both on the mortgage, now you're getting a divorce. So can you go buy a house with this other asset still sitting out there? Do you make enough money? Is your credit good enough to do that? Or do we need to look at selling this first? What if you have a spouse that doesn't want to sell, an ex-spouse, that's where they're living. Are they buying you out? When is that going to happen? Are you going to be able to use those funds to buy another house? So those are all the things that when you sit down with somebody, know, like, and trust, then you can tell them that so they know what to expect and what to, go over with the lender, because the lender doesn't know either. And it's better to be upfront instead of giving surprises later, because there's other avenues you can look at and discuss. One of the other loans that's very popular in this area is the USDA loan.
Oh, yeah, you and I talked about that briefly.
Yeah, so the USDA loan, you don't have to put down any down payment, and you do only have to have a 580 credit score with that one. Now, keep in mind, some of these government loans, they have extra fees and things like that people will have to have incorporated in with their payment. But if you don't have the means to put down a large amount of money, or you have a large amount of money for your down payment, but you need to use that in the house, then go this route
100%
and get it this way. You can still be a homeowner. USDA has some limitations as far as areas, but there's still areas that USDA qualifies, but Alto is still USDA. People don't really think about that, So it's going to go based on location and population as far as what USDA qualifies for. And again, you have to talk to your real estate professional, because some of the houses may not qualify because of their condition. So that's something else that.
Well, and that was with the grant too in Madison County. Mm-hmm. There was a couple of extra steps we had to do.
Yeah.
To make sure they're okay.
Some of the grants don't care about the condition of the house, like the $10,000 down payment plus. That doesn't. The house condition isn't affected by that. That's the consumer that they're looking at, for that. But when you're looking at FHA, USDA, VA, those are all conditions where the house has to be considered safety and health efficient, and so that we know what to look for.
The VA home loan is a very good home loan. I was whenever I was in St. Louis, this was nuts. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. This guy was a real estate agent, and we did a veteran show, which is about the veterans benefits, which is great. The problem was he took a lot of Vicodin, and he would be honest about it on the air and tell people I was giving him that Vicodin. And so we were talking about it, and I kept telling my brother, I'm like, man, John, this guy is talking about this VA home loan, and you could find a beautiful home for nothing. Yeah. Initially, of course. And he started looking at it, and he and his family found a beautiful home in East Alton, and he used that VA home loan and loved it. But there's a lot of military around here that I don't think realize that benefit of that.
Yeah, when you get closer to Scott Air Force Base and stuff like that, of course, you see it pop up more often. But a lot of times people don't necessarily think, if they're out of the military, if they're a veteran, they still can have those resources, So that is out there, and you can do a VA loan. It's not a one-time thing, you know, so you can do that again and again. You just have to follow the guidelines for it and so forth and so on. But there's so many lending opportunities out there. Interest rates are a little bit lower. This morning when I was pulling them up, a 30-year fix looked to be about 6.75.
Oh, dang it!
But it fluctuates. It just goes up and down, and it's not uncommon for it to be 7, 8, back down to 6, and again, it's not anything new. We're right back where we were, back from 2016, 2017. Interest rates are all right around that area. We do have an election coming up, so you do want to keep that in mind. That plays a part
a big part
on our our funds and our inflation and the feds and all of this. So you do have that coming up, and we never know where the market's going to go during election time. It will fluctuate. So it goes back to, it's always a good time to buy, look for a house.
I hate to cut you off, but I have this question about refinancing, because I just had this conversation the other day with somebody. When do you because I know you aren't going to give 100% advice, because there's always a disclaimer that you need to be thorough. Yeah, just again,
I'm not a lender,
but she's Lisa Webb. She's an agent, not a lender.
But I know great lenders.
100%, and that's another thing people don't realize is your network that you have to really help. And we'll talk about that because we have time. It's just whenever people are looking at that refinance option, what can you advise them on, years why? Because, it's different for everybody. But if someone's 4 or 5 years into their loan and they're seeing that their interest rates have dropped a percentage point or two.
We had that happen. So people that purchased homes, say back in 2018, 2019, when the interest rates were about where they were now, then and maybe when they bought back then, their credit wasn't the best, so their interest rates were a little bit higher. So since then, their credit's been improving, and they're not planning on going anywhere. They saw the interest rates drop. They refinance because they have money in the home.
Right.
And so if you're looking to refinance, you're going to stay in your home, and you need to redo your home. You need to add on. You need to save yourself some money. That's a good time to refinance.
Gotcha.
But you have to sit down and you have to analyze, because if you're refinancing, the best thing, in my opinion, and not everybody can do it, if you're going to refinance at a 15-year instead of a 30-year, because you're cutting time off, instead of starting all back over with a 30-year. Do a 15-year refinance if you can. So then that way you're still paying your home off sooner than later. If you can't, then you're refinancing 4 years, 5 years into your loan, you're refinancing at another 30-year loan. Well, you're just basically starting all over.
Yeah.
So usually it's people that's where they're going to stay. They're adding on, they're building, families growing, they're not moving. Or like in the case when the interest rates took their plummet, it just saved people money,
right?
Because they went so low, and we had a lot of people that just didn't, sell their homes. They just refinanced because of the interest rate. So
that's really fascinating.
So now though, if you got to think about it, if you refinance because the interest rates are super low, and you do have to move in 5 years or whatever, there's no guarantee that interest rate is going to be that low that you're locked into. So you do have to take that into consideration.
That's really fascinating. I keep hearing that because, people are talking about, well, the markets are kind of already doing the weird zigzags with the election coming up, and there's already starting to see that. And that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
I have another personal question. Well, not really for me, but for the public. How many times, and I'm sure it's different for every agent, but it seems like there's more and more young people that not necessarily are married, but they get a home together. And I mean, to me, it's one of those things where probably the best thing to do is to make sure this is the avenue we're going to stick to for a while, because I do notice that the same people that get the house together, it's a great idea at the time, but a couple of months later, they hate living with each other, and then we have an issue.
They just have to remember that if they do that, then somebody has to be able to buy somebody out. Or sell the house.
Okay.
So if you buy a house with somebody and things go south, then you have to keep in mind before you sign to buy that house, what happens?
Yeah.
How are we going to handle this if they have to move or whatever? Again, it goes back to our Life Happened episode.
That was great. That was
people
one.
pass away, people have life changes, and if that happens, what are you going to do? So if you have two people that aren't married to where you have the spousal right there, what are you going to do with that home? What's going to happen with it? So just keep that in mind. They can sell it and split the proceeds. Somebody can buy them out.
Right.
However the case is.
Do you ever have that conversation with a young couple yet? Because I feel like that could go one or two different ways,
Yeah.
What are you saying here? We don't look like we're going to be together?
Yeah.
And,
but really, honestly, it's no different than having a conversation with a married couple.
Right.
Because things happen,
Right.
So it's like if something happens emergency wise and one of you are out of the picture, what are you going to do?
Right.
So it's all full circle.
Well, and then another thing you posted on 3rd Street Realty's brand new Facebook page. Go give it a like and a follow today.
Yes, please do.
and we're going to link it on everything. We're going to get it back up to where it needs to be. I saw something about net worth. And I have a new app called Rocket Money because that damn commercial got me. That thing's on everywhere. I don't know if you've seen it. So I thought, let's try it, and see where I'm at.
Yeah,
and
how's that working out?
Actually, really good. I saved money. I found out that I was hemorrhaging my subscriptions, and it was time to
isn't that what that does? It sort of sees what's out there, and you can cancel them and all that kind of stuff.
And it lowered one of my bills for charter, too, which was kind of funny. But when I was looking, they did a thing on my house, and they said, well, your net worth's around $2,100. And I went, I'm in the black. Here we go.
Buying a house is better than buying a car. You buy a car, you pull it off the lot, and it automatically depreciates. But when you buy a house and the market continues to go the way it goes, it's a very solid investment. It's your worth is going to go up, and it's going to always be something that it's an asset of yours. You can sell it if you need to get the funds back out of it. More than likely, your value is going to go up than down at this point in life. So, it's just your net worth is especially if you buy a home that needs to have some work done to it, and you can get it at a good price. And one, you get it at a good price right away, you're ahead of the game. If two, once you fix it up, the way the market values are now, homes that are selling for $115, in all reality, if you fix it all up based on comps, it could be a $170 value home. So you're going to have your equity already built into it. Of course, that goes based on where you're at, what it is, comps and all of that. But I see that where, they're getting it at an investment price, and they come in and they do all of these nice renovations. And now, because the market is the way it is, and the homes that have sold with the nicer renovations are at the higher end of the spectrum, so they're ahead of the game with their worth.
Really fascinating. And then getting back to the interest rates and the other material you had brought in today, it's one of those things that nobody can be an expert on this and say, well, it's going to stay at the 6.75 or it's going to keep dropping because, you never know what tomorrow brings.
Yeah.
So what's the best way to kind of check that, and just kind of see where it's going?
Believe it or not, you can check online every day.
Oh. Well, there you go.
There's so many websites out there. You can go to a bank. I pulled this one. I won't say the name of the bank, but I pulled this one this morning off of a bank's website. Most of the banks will post their interest rates for CDs, for savings accounts. If they do mortgage loans, they'll post the mortgage rates. I mean, you can go to just about anywhere online and get what the current interest rates are.
That's awesome.
So just check them. You'll see the little graph going up or down or where things are anticipated to go.
Yeah. Well, and as far as we are in the game in January, 17 days into it, what do you kind of expect for the spring? Do you think it to be do you see it right now being kind of a calm and mild spring season for the market?
Oh, goodness, I hope not.
Do you see anything, do you see it being a little bit busier this time around?
I think things are already starting to pick up a little bit, especially whenever I'm looking at my properties. They're not the prettiest properties in the world, and they were sitting a little slow when we first listed them, but now that Christmas is done and New Year's is done, people are starting to really get back, investors, and get out there and start looking, because it's the beginning of the year for them. So where's our portfolio funds going to go? It's the beginning of the year. What do we have allocated?
Yeah.
And now with your regular buyers, your first-time home buyers, those type of people, the grants are available, so funds are now coming out. And if you think about it and you think about timing, we're in January. In February, you could be in your new home by spring.
Yeah.
So somebody posted on Facebook earlier today, 54 more days until we see our first 7 p.m. sunset. Woo, 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 woo. So if you think about it, a closing is 30 days, 30 to 45. You could be starting spring off in a new home.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so I think, people are starting to get geared up and get ready for what they want to do for 2024.
Absolutely. I'm on Third ST Realty right now, and you got a lot of listings.
Yeah.
You're ready to sell. The one in South Roxana is going to be a nice home.
Is that my big blue one?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the 1,600 square footer.
Yeah, and that one, when you look at the front, you don't really think about, it's a 5-bedroom house.
Yeah, I thought maybe a 2-bedroom home.
Yeah, no, it's a 5-bedroom, and then it does need a full renovation. But still, it has some really neat woodworking in it.
I'm looking at it now.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
hold on here. I got new technology here. Look
look at there.
Yeah.
Look at you. I love the woodworking in there, and hopefully whoever buys it, they can salvage some of that. It's plaster, so it needs walls, it needs floors, it just needs a whole overhaul and renovation. But it's a 5-bedroom house.
But that's one, just getting back to what you said, I think that's low enough that you can actually profit on that.
Yeah, and if you think about it, an investor could get that and look at maybe doing a duplex type thing, where they can have two rentals out of it. You could do an up and a down even,
So you said the one in Bethalto has multiple offers already?
So the one on Albers, the multiple offers just came over the cold weather, since Saturday. We've had more and more interest in that one. We did do a price reduction on it. When that one was originally listed, it was listed too high. Like I instructed them, it was too high. But we had to come down. And so since it's at 119.9, I do believe, but that's another one. The one on Albers, when you look at it, I had someone comment, when you look at it, you don't think it's as big as it is.
Yes.
But it sits on a full basement that's been partially renovated. So you have quite a bit, and it's 2 lots. So you have the house, and then it goes all the way to
That's perfect for a family.
Yeah.
Perfect especially for gatherings and everything. Now, the one on Wickenhouse, do you have an offer yet on this one?
No, we have several showings on that one. So that one was full of items. So it's been trashed out. I removed the carpet from that one so we could see the hardwoods underneath, the hardwoods in the living room.
Oh, beautiful hardwood. That can be refinished.
They can be refinished. The living room is the worst. The bedrooms aren't too bad with their hardwoods. So I thought it was better to pull that carpet so people can see what's under there. But it also sits on a full basement, and I just love that you could do this. This is really
Isn't this
great.
fun?
Yeah.
New addition to Dirt on Dirt. I did this on the fly today. This is great.
I love it. It's like, oh my gosh.
We can go another hour.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, this one sits on a full basement, has a fenced-in backyard. It's over there on the by the Milton School area, by what is that, Mavis Coffee?
Yeah, beautiful area.
Yeah,
Historic
so
Alton,
I mean, it's really it has some great qualities to it. It's a ranch. And, we really want to get this one.
Oh, look at that clawfoot tub.
Yeah.
That bathroom alone sells it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of clawfoot.
You don't like them?
No, but that's okay. It probably should stay there forever because, boy, those things are heavy.
Look at that basement.
I mean, that's the basement, and there's that room in the back. There's 2 rooms back there. That one is finished, could be an office.
Is this the bar area down there?
Yeah, it has a bar area. It has a half bath down there. I mean, it just has so much potential to it.
Oh, my goodness.
And,
yes, it does.
Yeah, so that one, and that's the garage. So we really want to get that one, going on the market and stuff like that. So it just has some great potential.
I'm going to call this as our best segment. We found out a new feature of this show.
I love it,
Now we're ready. I mean, now we're officially ready to go.
I don't have my Langdon house listed. I'm doing that
Oh,
today.
I bet that's beautiful.
So I have 1409, no, 1604. Don't quote me on the number. I just know it's on Langdon. And I'm meeting the stager there today. So that the one that's going to be coming up, it is, that one.
This one?
Yeah, don't show the agent that had it listed before.
No, I'm not. Not going to do. It's a beautiful home. Beautiful home.
Yeah. So what's the house number?
You had it right. It was 1604.
Oh, okay, good. I'm so smart.
Oh.
So this one will be listed at $129,900.
It should be.
And I do have a stager that I'm meeting there today. So it's been a while since I staged a property, but this one, it's empty, so we're going to stage it so people can really get the full effect of it. And then I have the professional photographer coming tomorrow. So if you're in the market to list your house and you want to list your house with a professional, we do stage if we need to.
Good.
And we do also do professional photography. Some of my foreclosures I don't, because some of the stagers don't want to put their stuff in some of my foreclosures. But when you're doing a regular traditional house, we really want to make sure our clients get 100%
I'm sold on this house.
value, so that's what we do. So stay tuned. That'll be on the market coming soon, hopefully to do an open house this weekend. So.
I just want to make a note, Lisa. For my next home, I want something just like this house.
It's pretty
beautiful.
neat. It's on the brick road,
Yes.
so it has the brick roads there. And I went there right after Christmas to meet with the owner. I sold her that house.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
So I sold her the house, and she bought a house in Missouri. She got married, and they moved to Missouri. So she reached back out. And so we're selling, but it's by all the bigger homes, like with Henry and all that. So everybody had all their Christmas stuff on, and it's real close to the park and the coffee and the donut place. So it's just really a neat area. So I'm hoping
That's
that goes
gonna go
really
quick.
quick. I really do. I think it's going to be priced very easily for a new family to get and have room to grow.
I'm telling you, we got to keep that one in mind just in case in 5 years, whenever I sell mine. That's probably going to be where I look to go because I love Langdon. That is such a beautiful
There's a great
area.
house over on Henry. That'd be happy to sell.
Lisa Webb, this was fun. I enjoyed this.
I liked it.
All the way around. We're ready for the future.
That's right. Welcome 2024.
on 3rd with 3rd Street Realty at 10:06. We went almost an hour. I love it.
Sorry, guys.
You got to get to work.
Yeah.
At 10:06, we'll take a quick break. We aren't going to do news today because you know what? I had so much fun showing these houses. I want to do this every segment.
Hey, I like it.
Is that cool?
Yeah, works for me.
And we'll talk for a little bit like we do, but we'll add this component. But I wanted to make sure we went through all of them because this house won't last for long on Langdon. So get there quick. Make your offer.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Joe's Market Basket. You have indoor plants?
Oh, okay.
Do you have indoor plants?
I have two, but they're the indoor plants that you normally get at a funeral, and they're whatever they're called that you can't kill them. You know, the one plant I had
peace
since
lily?
Yeah, the one I had since my grandma passed away, and I think that thing's probably 10 years old.
So what's funny is there's a lot of people that keep those peace lilies, and Andy, we talked to yesterday. You're going to hear it for the first time today. Said peace lilies are one of the most beautiful and the easiest house plant to have.
Yeah, they tell me when they need to be watered because they go, ugh. I'm like, oh, I gotta water it, and then they go, oh, thank you.
I love that. And Andy's going to join us and tell us how to take care of our indoor plants because it's the middle of winter. And plus, if you want to get your vegetables started for March, you can do that now, and he'll give you tips on how to do that. 10:07, a quick break. Lisa Webb, 3rd Street Realty, 3rdstrealty.com, and start your journey, no matter what it is, with Lisa Webb today.
Thanks.
Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Hey, we got some breaking news. Developing news. I am giving big kudos to the Alton High hiring team. Alton School District made a fantastic decision. Before our conversation with Andy Klos and Joe's Market Basket, Alton High School is proud to announce the hiring of Cody Mark as the head coach at Alton High School. They're taking off the interim title, and rightfully so. Coach Markle was a graduate of Alton High School as well as MOBAP. Coach Markle filled in the past fall as the interim head coach after the abrupt resignation of Coach David Parker, and the Alton Redbirds finished with an 8-1 record overall. Coach Markle was an outstanding lineman during his career with Alton High. I played with him. And at MOBAP for 3 years before a severe injury wiped out his senior season. Coach Markle has been on the Redbird football staff since 2017. There's a typo in that, and has served as the offensive coordinator the past 2 seasons. Coach Markle currently is a teacher at Alton Middle School. Cody, man, just congratulations. I said to numerous board members that you should be the head coach, and the passion that you bring to the field, the passion your players have for you, and the love that you have for this Riverbend region and the community of Alton, it showed. So congratulations from RiverBender.com to Cody Markle, named the head coach of the boys football team, the interim title taken away here at 1013, making that announcement. But with that being said, we have a fantastic conversation. So, why don't we get to that now? And we'll have fun with that with Joe's Market Basket right here on our daily show. Welcome back to this Wednesday morning on the 17th day of January in the heart of the 618, RiverBender.com. It's our daily show. CJ Nasello here with you, and Andy with Joe's Market Basket. Really a staple business in the Riverbend region. And I know, Andy, I can tell you this. I have been to Joe's a time or two with my mom, and I've really started to fall in love with taking care of plants and beautifying the landscape inside and out. But this article got sent over, and this is about taking care of our plants, especially, the house plants during during the winter months. And is this something you get asked quite a bit about whenever people walk through the doors?
Yeah, so it's a great question. Kind of ever since COVID hit, people spending that much more time at home and being indoors or even outdoors. The houseplant industry has really taken off the last few years, and it's something that we definitely backed up and got on board with, and it's been really, really good for us and our customers.
Well, and let me ask you about this too, because I've seen and you know a hell of a lot more about this than I do. I just seen a lot of succulents starting to be added to the kitchens. A lot of bathrooms have some succulents. Does that is that a house plant, or is that a different type of plant you just call succulents, and house plants are different?
I mean, they could be kind of considered different, but as far as we're concerned, I think we consider them all the same, because it's succulents do the same thing as a houseplant does. Adds to your indoor experience. It does. Those actually help filter the air as well. So we consider it the same as a houseplant, yes.
Well, and another thing that I'm really bad at, and I'm just going to put myself on blast here. One of our coworkers left and found another job, so she left us with plants. And for the last 3 months, I've been trying to keep one of them alive. I took the responsibility on to be the stepdad to one of these plants. Foster dad's probably the most appropriate term. And I'm telling you what, Andy, I seems like I'm overwatering it. Then when I wait to let the water dry out, it's too dry and it's going to fall over any second. Am I doing something? I know I'm doing something wrong, but what am I not figuring out here?
Yeah, I want to say right or wrong. A lot of people we always say, give too much love to their houseplants. Houseplants don't need your daily attention. As far as the watering goes, we do what's called a finger test. Kind of stick your finger in the soil, and if the first couple inches of the soil is dry, then it's time to water. But like I said, a lot of people, think they need to attend their houseplant every single day, and that's just not true. They're very hardy. Most of them are very easy to maintain, but just maybe a little bit less love. People want to, you can still talk to them every day, but maybe just let them do their thing.
Good. Now I don't feel as crazy, Andy. Thank you very much. I wanted to ask you about this. I noticed that on my plants in the home, there's some dust on them. And, for me, I'm freaking out thinking, oh, my goodness, I'm doing something wrong. But I guess dust is a part of just living inside the house. Is that normal for houseplants to have a little bit of dust on them?
It's very normal, but it's also very important to make sure you wipe the dust off your plants.
Okay.
So think of as a houseplant as like an air filter that you put in your furnace. That's exactly what the houseplant is doing. It's filtering your air. So when that dust appears on the leaves, you need to wipe that off so it can keep the airborne, keep the dust out of the air, and also help its growth. So it's very important to keep those leaves wiped down. We sell a product called Leaf Shine that helps with that. Or another easy thing to do is just get like a little sham cloth, just wet it a little bit and wipe each leaf off. Don't leave water streaks, but wipe off the dust on a regular basis.
And now does the dust, just going back to what you were saying earlier, does it block some of the light too, I'm guessing, because it's covering the plant so it can't get in there? Am I hitting on something here?
Yeah, that's correct. So when I said, as far as promoting growth, when the dust collects on that, it's that whole photosynthesis thing. The sun needs to hit the leaf so it can grow. House plants, along with other outdoor plants, they feed through their leaves. They feed through their tips and water and so forth. So, that dust is blocking their growth pattern.
Let me ask you this. I've had such an issue with finding the proper place to put plants in the house, because it seems like for a couple of hours, one room's getting a lot of sunlight, but the way my house is kind of shaped and built, it seems like that sunlight goes away pretty quickly. Is it just trying to figure out how much sunlight that plant needs inside, and then also finding out where can we put it to make sure it's getting what it needs?
Yeah. So when you're shopping for houseplants, it does help to maybe kind of do a little research, before you come out and pick a houseplant up. Obviously, we have a great staff here that can help pick out the right houseplant for the right spot in your house. But it really, sunny spots do matter. Some houseplants like a little bit more darker corner. Some need the full sun. You mentioned succulents earlier on. Succulents love sun. They love heat. So a nice sunny kitchen window would be great for them. Other plants don't need that much sun. They can actually burn up if they get that hot, direct sun. So knowing your spot and what kind of sun you get is very important in choosing a houseplant.
So the other thing I noticed too, Andy, is when I went on vacation at the end of Christmas and left the office here for about a week, I came back and I was freaked out because I thought, oh my goodness, my little, I forgot what you call them, the orbs that you stick into the dirt so it waters it while you're gone. I don't know if they work very well, but I decided maybe use it. Well, that was all gone. And then I realized my plants were bone dry. So I freaked out and just started dumping a bunch of water on them. What's the proper way to rehydrate your plant without, can you put it into shock?
You can put it in a shock. Really the best way to, I think, to water a houseplant is kind of from the bottom. Kind of set them in like a little saucer of water, and that way, the roots are on the bottom of that pot, so they can suck up the water as they need it. Now, you don't want to leave that in that saucer 24 hours a day every day because they can overwater themselves. But that's the best way to rehydrate a plant.
Really, really fascinating. And what's one thing that we can look for in terms of just looking at the soil to see if we have too much water in there? Because I know there are some signs that could show up in maybe the soil with some type of discoloration. Is that correct?
Discoloration. A biggest sign of dry soil is when it starts cracking.
Okay.
If you start seeing the top layer soil kind of crack throughout, that means it's just way too dry and does need to be rehydrated.
And another thing, Andy, that I'm running into too, and I was just looking at this article again, is that whenever I put too much water in, it's not draining out or it's not getting rid of that water quickly, so it's just sitting there. Is it, if there's water sitting, is it time to repot, maybe find another home for the plant?
Yeah. So when you get to that point, that's a great question. It is time to repot at that point. One thing people kind of may make the mistake on is they want to repot it into just too big of a pot. Houseplants by nature like to have tighter roots. So when you repot it into something bigger, you don't need to go that much bigger of a pot, but you need fresh soil. You need just maybe a couple of inches more on the pot size. That way the roots can expand a little bit. But going too big on a pot, it's not the correct way to go.
Really interesting. And another thing I wanted to ask you about is my mom has a couple of plants that are a little taller that she keeps in the house, especially when the winter weather starts to come in. But throughout the year, we have a couple of taller ones in her house. In my house, I have a couple of bigger ones. I'm really fascinated about the pruning and trimming process of plants because it seems like if you do it wrong, you could really cause some damage. But if you do it right, you're going to keep your plant thriving and healthy for years.
Yep. So as far as pruning goes, obviously you can always snip off any dead or bad looking leaves. That's going to help promote growth. One thing on your vertical growers, kind of what you're talking about, is you never want to cut off the leader branch is what it's called. The leader branch is going to be your middle one, your strongest one. That's going to be the tallest one, and that's going to grow. And that's what actually keeps that plant growing upward. If you cut or damage that leader branch, then it's going to start kind of going out sideways and not be as tall and vertical as that plant is meant to be. So it's very important to make sure you kind of leave that leader branch alone.
Really fascinating. And Andy, as we're talking about this, Joe's Market Basket has a ton of selection. And I know that there's so many younger kids that are getting their own apartments and just buying their house for the first time. And I've had a few reach out to me and ask for suggestions. What is a pretty good, do you have any FAQs maybe for some good starter plants for somebody that really would like to get into having some nice greenscape in their house and maybe some nice plants and ways that are easy to maintain?
Yeah, absolutely. There's obviously a lot of different houseplants, but the easiest ones for, like you said, starters and so forth, peace lilies, that's a very easy one. Snake plants, another easy one. Any kind of ivy, Boston ferns, little bitty palms, those are all very, very easy. And if you do make the mistake of overwatering or underwatering or lighting until you get that all figured out, those plants are very, very hardy and in my opinion, very easy to take care of and great starter plants for the people who are just getting started in the houseplant world.
Really cool. Because I have a plant right now, I'm telling you, Andy, it's like a CJ plant. It's very temperamental. You look at it wrong and it's just going to fall over and die, it seems like. Have you ever experienced, what's the toughest plant, in your opinion, that someone can have in the house to really maintain? I hate to put you on the spot, but that's a pretty fascinating topic.
Boy, I'm trying to think of what the toughest plant would be. Sometimes jade plants or philodendrons, they can be a little phinicky. Philodendrons kind of have the bigger leaves, and a lot of times when you overwater those, you'll start to see those leaves just brown out tips really, really quick. Jade plants, I don't think they're considered a succulent, but they're more in that succulent cacti world where they don't require a lot of water, but a little bit more sun. So I think those two might be a little difficult, but at the same time, once you figure out kind of what we talked about, and you'll be fine after you figure out your lighting, your watering for sure.
Well, it's really amazing to me too, Andy, and I'm sure you get this said a lot of times whenever you talk to folks at Joe's Market Basket, is it's the little things that can really add up to, keeping your plants really healthy. I mean, just what you said about the dust alone, I would have never thought, now that you said it out loud, makes perfect sense. But just looking at it in the house, I wouldn't think, oh, well, that's what's, causing that plant not to get as much sunlight. But it makes total sense talking about it out loud.
Yep. And like I said, too, again, these house plants, they act like an air filter. Yeah. We have to keep our air filters clean in our homes. So, keeping the air filter, clean and wiped off is very essential.
Absolutely. And Andy, before I let you go, you're in a beautiful greenhouse at Joe's Market Basket in Edwardsville, correct, today?
Yeah, today I'm in Edwardsville,
And whenever you're in this point of the year, whenever it's, this is the coldest months of winter in January and February, what does Joe's Market Basket look to do? Is it starting to get a gauge on what spring's going to be like, what type of inventory you can bring in, or is it more about just maintaining what we have and helping the client whenever they come in for winter issues?
A little bit of both, to be honest with you. Right now we are starting to get all our spring stuff in, as far as, because here at Joe's Market Basket, we are a full line landscape and garden center. So right now we're getting all our hardscapes and all your natural stone, your block brick, mulch, all that stuff that can be outside now and not have to worry about it. Inside the store, obviously we gear up on house plants. We still have all our chemicals. A lot of people do start doing their seeds, their indoor veggies and herbs right now. So, all that stuff is starting to roll in. So even though it's cold and not very nice outside, there's still plenty to do that you can do inside your homes to get ready for spring.
That's really cool. And I wanted to ask you one more thing, if it's okay, because this is something that wasn't in the article, but I've always found it fascinating. I was witnessing somebody in February, a couple of years ago, maybe March. They had a couple of little, I forget what you call them, but the dirt pods that you can put little starter seeds in. And they had just a crate of them, and they started their plants really in March inside their house and got them big enough to where they could take them out. Is that common?
Yeah, it's very common. We saw those are. I'm sure you might be talking about peat pods.
Yes, yes. Sorry about that. Yes, sir.
Yep. And it's very common. We, like I said, that's all now starting to come in. So people do start coming in this time of year. Get the peat pods. We actually sell little mini greenhouses too. So people start their veggie plants from seed. That's how they do it. They put it in these jiffy pots, put in these little mini greenhouses, put in their sunny window, and then by the time it is to transfer it outside, they're ready to go. So it's a great time to start.
Absolutely. And Andy, before I let you go, is there anything at Joe's discount-wise, anything we should look out for just if we're making our way up to Edwardsville in the next couple of days to get our hands on some great products?
We don't have anything really on sale right now. We do have our trees and shrubs, our outdoor stuff that was from last season. We still do have that on sale. Shrubs are 75% off, trees are 50% off. But keep in mind that's last year's stock, and anything new coming in from here on out wouldn't be on sale. But we still do have a little bit of selection from last season.
Really cool. Andy, I really appreciate your time on this. I hope it went okay for you. I really find it fascinating with keeping our plants cleaned off from the dust, and really, and what was that product again that Joe's Market Basket sells to help with this process?
We sell it. It's called Leaf Shine. So it's just like a foaming product. You can spray it on a rag or spray it right on the plant, and it just wipes off the dust and helps keep the dust off, and then also promote growth. Really cool. Andy, thank you so much for your time. I know that you're busy today and dealing with the Edwardsville and O'Fallon location, and helping anyone that comes into the store. And for more information, what's your website for Joe's Market Basket? We're at joesmarketbasket.com. And then also on the Facebook and Instagram. Awesome. Andy, thank you so much. Anytime you want to come on, join me in the studio, talk about anything Joe's Market Basket. You have all the time in the world for me, because I love what you guys do. Yep, absolutely. I appreciate that, and I'll take you up on that anytime. Awesome. We'll take a quick pause here on the 17th day of January. It's a Wednesday morning in the heart of the 618. More of our daily show hits you next right after this.
Is it time to buy, sell, or even time to consider a short sale of your property? Meet Lisa Webb, owner of 3rd Street Realty. This local, women-owned, family-operated realty group has over a decade of experience in foreclosures, first-time home buying, and so much more. 3rd Street Realty prides themselves on holding your hand through the entire process. Let their expertise guide you to your dream home. Visit 3rdstrealty.com and start your journey with Lisa Webb today.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Lennox products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
When life throws unexpected challenges your way, you need a versatile legal ally to protect you. Sean Lentz, with over 12 years of experience, is here to help you in a variety of avenues. From personal injury to criminal defense and even semi-truck accidents, Sean Lentz has your back. Don't wait for the justice that you deserve. Call 618-465-8000 and see how Sean can help you today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
That land of gentle breezes where the peaceful waters flow. Spread your tiny wings and fly away, and take the snow back with you where it came from on that day. The one I love forever is untrue.
Welcome back, 1033. No snowbirds in the studio, just Jason and Kayla Harrison. Kicking butt and taking names as always. How's everything been for you guys this winter season? Has it been pretty well?
Yes, it has.
No, go ahead.
All right, well, just business as usual, man. It's kind of slow, but part of being an entrepreneur.
Well, and what I think is cool is that everything that you both do encompasses the previous entity. So, like Cafe 111, I think ties in perfectly with Lamays, just has a different offshoot in a beautiful building and a different location to kind of get everyone's taste buds going in that district. Plus, you got food revival and all of these things that really go hand in hand, and I think help really build branding and especially awareness very much so.
Oh, yeah. It's I wish I could say that was part of our strategic plan from the beginning.
Oh, you should just say that.
Oh, yeah.
Rewind that.
Yeah. Rewind. Yeah. Like Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
But it just come together, man. It's like opportunities come, we seize the moment, and it's just like, man, this fits hand in hand. It's just phenomenal just to see where it unfolds.
So let me ask you this. Take me to the start. What was the first business? Was it Lamays or was it Food Revival?
So very first, I got started off with Jay's Marketing Grill, and that was in East Alton.
Okay.
So I started off with a barbecue place there. Yep. And then a year later, we bought into a fish place, which was the Fish Spot was the name of it. Then we turned to the Jay's. And then we moved from there to the old Dairy Queen, which is Gumbo to go.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we had a friend approach us and was like, hey, man, you guys kind of got this wrong. And he's like, you should be able to get money before you even show up, or you should know how much you're going to make. And I'm like, man, I don't get it.
Right.
And so he was talking to us about that. And one day our children came home.
They're starving after school every day, and they're not eating lunch. So we're like, okay, what's going on here?
Lunch is bad.
Yeah. And so...
Was that what it was?
That was.
Yeah.
So Lamays is actually named after our two daughters, Lakaya and Maylena.
Okay.
Because they were coming home, and they were just starving. They didn't want to eat the school food, and it was just like, we're packing lunches every day. It's like, what's going on? So we just knew that at some point we wanted to get into the schools or daycares after school programs, so it just kind of fell in our lap.
Yep. So then the guy who was talking to us about it gave us an opportunity to get into a daycare. So that was our first contract, was a daycare. And then we moved to after school program. And so our initial goal was just get children to eat.
Right.
Right?
Well, and that's a great point because, when I was in middle school, I saw the transition. This was wild. And I mean this like 100% what happened. There was a slushy machine. There was all this great food that if you wanted to add a little bit onto your account, you could. Mm-hmm. That was tasty, even though it wasn't healthy. You still had something you enjoyed. But it was like in 2 months, all that went away, and we had these soggy chicken sandwiches that were, I'm not being a jerk, but they were mass-produced, and they weren't good quality meats, and you could tell that the people stopped eating the food. It just went from a complete, we were happy, to a nosedive, and then they were aggravated because they were hungry and going to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's wild. I mean, that's 100% true.
Yeah, man. So our initial goal was just get children to eat.
That's awesome.
And then as we got into it more, we're like, man, what if we could really get them to eat and give them nutritional food?
Right.
And so Michelle Obama had launched the campaign, with the healthy eating. And the tough part about that with this business is you have a cap of how much the federal government will reimburse for meals.
Yeah.
So I believe it's like $4 and 25 cents or something like that. Well, you think about that. You think about healthy eating and how much it costs.
Yeah.
Right. Inflation has went. This number has not changed, which we really need to address that.
Absolutely.
But the barrier was, how can we participate in what she's saying and get children to eat? And it's like, man, it's just been so hard. So we've been just navigating through that process.
It is a tough maze because the idea was fantastic. I mean, the concept of it made tons of sense, but you're right, the transition to how do we do it was a little bit in the gray area because people started interpreting it at state levels and trying to maneuver it down to local government and school districts. That makes it hard. But throughout the years, how are you able to kind of formulate this to really become something to where we're bouncing between the hurdles, we're keeping kids fed, and we're keeping them healthy too, because that nutritious meal goes a long way for learning and just overall health in general.
Right. You got to let the kids talk. They'll tell you what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah.
We get a lot of feedback from our kids and their friends, and I'm constantly saying, what'd you have for lunch? Did you like it? What's your favorite thing on the menu? Because you got to hear from the kids. They're, that's what they want.
Who is the harshest critic of the daughters and the children?
Well, our daughters would rather have salmon and steak every day. So, I mean, it's
good call.
tough.
That's a good call.
It's kind of hard. They both are the same. They're really good food critics.
But it's good though, and I think it goes a step above just feeding the children. It's also telling them it's okay to have an opinion on something.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like it, tell us so we can figure it out.
Right, and that's what we tell the administrators too when we start new daycares and things like that. We got to have feedback in the beginning. We don't want to serve food again if they're not going to eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we adapt quick, man. It's like, so if you say on Monday they don't like that, and it's generally a 21-day rotation, we immediately move it out and try to figure out what can we do, So that's how we.
So you got the first daycare. How long of a duration was it, or a transfer over to get the second and the third, and to get some more, organizations, in the Lamays territory?
Yeah. So man, it's like once you get in that vein and you do well, people pretty much come to you. Like I received like 2 emails this morning of how we can navigate and come on and partner with 2 organizations. And it's just navigating through that, man, getting through those hurdles, those barriers. I mean, the reimbursement time, like when they pay you.
Right.
Because they're waiting on money to receive from the government. So you have to imagine, man, we do 30 days providing the food. Then we bill them. And then after you bill them, you have to wait 15 days after that. So you have 45 days possibly of no payment. And it could go longer. And imagine, we're doing hundreds of students a day. So imagine the cost we incur with that. And so it's like,
patience is a virtue in this industry,
I was emailing someone at 2:13 this morning about reimbursement.
But see, I would have never even have thought about that.
Yeah.
And was that a big hurdle for just getting started, is realizing, hey, we got some turnover here that we got to wait for?
Oh, yeah. Finances. I mean, with any entrepreneur out there, financial burdens out there, and just learning how to navigate and being able to adapt.
Yeah. Do you guys have a moment to stick around real quick?
Yeah.
It's 10:41. I got to pay one last bill this morning, but before I do that, I do have to fill you in on some important information. We're talking to 2 entrepreneurs that are doing some awesome stuff. Another individual that's an entrepreneur that helps me on this show blabber into this microphone is Denise Sparks. You know what she did? She took on the big trash company. She got tired of all these people getting hateful over trash not getting picked up. One of their drivers tried to fight me in this parking lot one morning. Crazy stuff. Well, Denise said, you know what, for 30 years I've been the queen of junk, and now for the next 30 she's the queen of junk, trash hauling, and weekly trash pickup. All you have to do, go to sparksjunkremoval.net today. You'll find those beautiful purple and yellow trash cans that are popping all up. You put your address in, and yes, Denise and her team call you, not a third-party call center that don't know what's going on. You get someone local, because at Sparks Junk Removal, they're local for their local community. SparksJunkRemoval.net. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with this fantastic conversation in the 618.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe, rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at SparksJunkRemoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
We're all in amazement in this studio. 1040, trying to tie the song in. It's a hard business, you know? Jason and Kayla Harrison in studio talking all about all the businesses you guys have your hands in. And I think it's, you know, what I think is really cool is you see the impact that Food Revival has, or, you know, a Cafe 111 even has, in a Lamays, because it's a lasting legacy for your family, for the next generation, and our little piece of history. And I think that there's so much of it ties into some of the things that you guys have your hands in the community to help others. And that's a big part of what I think makes you all so successful in what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, as we're getting back to Lamays Catering, I wanted to talk more about Food Revival real quick. When did the food truck come into play? Was that recently?
It was. So last year, 2023. So we purchased it in 2022 towards the end of the food truck season.
Okay.
So I have a good friend, mentor, Drew Thompson. He owns Homestyle. That's a shameless plug for him. He's going to have to pay me for that one.
It's $50 a live rate.
Yeah. Every time they play this, it's $50.
That's right.
But he was coaching me on how to get into the food truck business. We have a son, Jayon, and he's 21. And he's in the food industry now, so we was like, hey, let's partner together and do this. So this past year, 2023, he's been learning more, and he's excited now. Just joined the Food Truck Association. We've been out there at Lewis and Clark. Things. We've been local, but now we're really about to expand out there and really go full force.
How cool is it though to be able, because it's not everyone thinks it kind of goes hand in hand when you have, you know, the son and dad duo that, oh, well, you know, the son's going to take over and follow the reins, but sometimes, and coming from a family business, you never know how that is. But what's it like to really kind of navigate that with your son too, and really go through kind of the learning challenges of life as a young individual? Plus, if he's like, you know, like me too, we're a young person that's actually doing something, and while everyone else is still kind of having a good old time and running around.
Yeah.
You know, is it kind of unique to have that relationship in a way that's business oriented?
Unique is a good. Unique is the word you want to use that. I mean,
that's awesome.
You know, it has its challenges because again he's younger.
Yep.
And he gives a total youthful spin to it, and we're a little bit more seasoned.
Yep.
This is our money on the line here. Our reputation as well as trying to build him a reputation. So we have had these clashes, to say the least. However, the thing I like about it is he didn't quit.
Yes.
You know, and I'm big with that, man. I cannot deal with quitters.
100%.
You know?
So there was a rule in our family. And my dad coaches soccer. We've all been soccer people. But if you started anything, I was on the robot team. Okay, yeah, it didn't work out well. I was on the robot team. because I thought, what the hell, this is cool, let's make a little robot. And I hated it the first day. And my dad says, well, that's great, you're going to hate it for the next 3 months because you're seeing this through until the end. You don't quit. And that's what it was. You try it. If you want, get through the first season. If you don't want to do it after that, at least you did it. You don't quit halfway through. And that's a great message for young people because it seems like that's kind of the easy way out, so let's do it.
It's so many options.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have options, so I mean, this goes into marriage, this goes into businesses, go into whatever. When you have options, you can easily drop that, right? You can easily say, nah, I'm bored, or I'll do something else. But when you don't have options, which our grandparents, great-grandparents did not have like we did. So when you got an opportunity, they had to seize it and make it work, right?
Yep.
And that's the problem that we have now.
You're right.
This new generation, and it's even with some adults as well, so not just speaking to millennials, but just too many options.
You're right.
They'll quit something in a moment, you know, and I've just been taught you never quit.
And I've said this 100 times over in the St. Louis radio station with Hartman at night, is the American dream isn't just this idea, it's part of a formula of hard work, perseverance, and really seeing things through and then achieving the success after you put in all that sacrifice, and you get to have that white picket fence in 20 years and realize I did it, I accomplished, and now here's my piece. And it's like now it's just like, well, hell, the guy's on the airplane, my social media influencer, and I can do that too.
Yeah.
No, you can't. That's just not going to happen.
Not while you're sitting there watching them for hours.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. 100% right. And I think that's why I love watching you guys work on it, because I follow everything on social media and I try to stay up to date with everyone. And every time I look, it's something new with the Harrisons, what you guys are working on. And it's really fun to see that because you're still two younger entrepreneurs in the community doing some really awesome stuff.
Thank you.
Through that Cafe 111, which I thought was a fantastic idea, how is that going in that building? Is it a beautiful building? I haven't been inside.
Oh, my goodness, man. They, GCP, Giant City Property.
Okay.
Shameless plug for them. They're going to owe me $50.
Another 50.
Yeah.
I got tallies.
They did a phenomenal job in that building, and they really built that up. I mean, the work that they're doing around the community is phenomenal. And they gave us an opportunity to be able to put this cafe in there, and it has been phenomenal. It has been challenging.
We have amazing employees.
Oh, yeah.
I met two of them in Linda's class last year in January. I swear it was funny as hell. I went, yeah, no kidding. We just talked to Jason about 111 getting started.
Yeah. So we have, right now, Chef Reggie's there, and man, she is just knocking it out the park. We have Laura Fowler, which is she's a baker. And man, so all the breads, all the dessert stuff, that's freshly baked. You know, like
and
that goes a long way.
Oh,
it's dangerously good.
I mean, like
you're right though.
Oh, like seriously,
It's
like
so good.
when I say I'm done, and then I'm still finding myself going there buying more. It's just
you can't move afterwards. You're like, just make it stop.
Yeah, but it has its challenges, man. You know, when you look at corporate buildings like that, you automatically think, oh, you got a target audience, and that's just a gold mine for you. But the real challenge is that when COVID came, a lot of people went satellite. So a lot of satellite workers. So what looks large on the outside really is really smaller on the inside. And so we have the challenge of adapting to the tenants that are in there, and the bank has a steady flow, so customers are there. And so just being able to sustain that is as a milestone for us.
Yeah, we started from the bottom. So so it's not like we came in and they said, okay, this clientele likes this, this, and this. We literally had to, figure out what they wanted, what they liked. Because at first it was like, no, we're all on diets. We don't want cheesecake. The next couple months, no, we want the cheesecake.
Resolution's over.
It's like so being able to adapt, right?
Yeah.
You know, and that's every entrepreneur has it.
You have to.
Yeah.
If you don't, you die, and that's just the way that life. And now,
Blockbuster, they can adapt.
Yeah, exactly.
Not quick enough. They just held on to that model.
Well, and honestly, that's one thing that no one realizes with streaming that Netflix was really innovative was they're like, yeah, we send you a DVD, but hell with that, we're going to start working on streaming before anyone thought of it. And now look at them, they're kind of stuck in their ways, and they're getting beat by other streaming platforms.
Yeah.
It's, well, we made it, but you got to keep making it.
Yeah.
Your success makes you irrelevant at times.
You're right, 100%. You can't keep your foot off the gas for 1 second.
Man.
And what are your hours at Cafe 111?
So 7 a.m. The chef gets there, and so she's cooking, and They've been closing around about 2:30ish. So they get to monitor in there the clientele, the flow that's going there. Like yesterday, we were there, we were prepping for everything, and like 4 people showed up in the building.
Oh no.
You know, but that's the nature of the beast, right?
Right.
So you adapt.
Yep.
And then today, she called me, man, people are flowing in. And so it's like, all right, well, this is great, you know. And so you have to be able to adapt, man. You have to be able to just go with those punches and know that if I stay consistent, if I stay track, if I keep to the course, success just has to happen.
100. Now, do you ever get some Marquette kids that wander in and want to get something to eat before they school starts?
So no. Which
What are you doing?
Marquette, please come. I mean, come on.
I didn't even know this business, and I just knew it was a perfect fit.
I mean, please, someone please reach out to us from there so we can find out how we can get in there.
I'll take care of that. We'll hook you up.
Thank you.
We'll make sure we get
That's a 50 I owe. That's a 50 I owe now.
Yeah,
That's another 50.
now
I owe 50.
Yeah. That's the way media works.
Yeah,
you know?
I have. So I mean, I need to collect, and so then I can pay you.
But I mean, to me, that's perfect. If I was a high school kid, especially knowing that there's somebody making some real food, you aren't getting that quick trip junk. That, you know, I mean, let's be honest, we don't know what's in those rollers. Okay.
No.
And to be able to have something that's really going to fuel you and keep you, you know.
Like today is Wing Wednesday. Like, them are grilled wings that were done today. That's been placed over there. You can get garlic parmesan, sweet Thai chili, buffalo. You can get them naked, you know. But that's good food for the teachers there, parents, whatever. There is chicken noodle soup, homemade. Like this is not open from a can. This is chicken that was deboned and all the vegetables, everything put in there. So
you can't beat it. And I mean, that's why I love the idea of this because
Taco Tuesday, Reggie's tacos are amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean, been fried right there on the spot as you order them.
Deep fried?
No,
on
the pan
fried, but still doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, you got to imagine this is the chicken that we cut up. The vegetables we put in there, making it fresh just like that. And not next week, but the following week on a Thursday. Shameless plug again for Homestyle, but we'll have Chef Drew there making Phillies.
Oh, that's
so that's
my
a new thing that we're about
favorite,
to incorporate. Philly cheesesteaks, man. So
what day? Thursday next week?
The following week. Yep. I'll let you know about it.
I will be there because I'm telling you, there's nothing in this world makes me happier than a Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just hits you with, and that's what I think is so important about food because people don't realize. I mean, you could make or break someone's day with a good meal. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can see their eyes just light up when they have something good. And, you know, out of all the things you both do in the community, is there ever a moment where you just kind of look back maybe when things start to slow down and, you know, holiday season, where you're like, man, we're really doing some good stuff? Do you ever have a moment, because you're so busy, to really reflect on things like that, or does it just keep moving forward?
Really with me, man, I don't know about my wife, but I'm my hardest critic.
Yep.
So I don't feel like I'm ever doing enough.
Same, yeah.
If people had to... Like my chef friend, Chef Drew, he had to come to the cafe and tell me, he said, man, you maximize this. You have did the absolute best. Man, I couldn't even do this like this. And someone had to remind me the other day, like, hey, you guys are a minority-owned catering company. We're on Lewis and Clark campus. Yep. We're on with Wash U. We're doing work. I mean, just the span and the federal and state local contracts that we have procured and executed. Just to be reminded from other people. But I'll always sit back and just be like, man, what am I not doing? What we're having. Matter of fact, we just got a new partnership with Challenge Unlimited. Shout out to Challenge Unlimited. Oh, that's 100. That's a corporate company.
That is. Actually, here, let me add on to that. And RiverBender.com is revamping the Challenge Unlimited website. We decided to take that on, so we're excited and love Stephanie and love John Becker.
They owe you 100 for that as
well.
Now
I'm in the hole.
Yeah.
Like always, it's like playing the slots.
But yeah, so to see what we do and to look at how many people we have employed and to look at the reach we're able to do, I always feel like there's more. Yep. There's always more to be done. And it's like, and it's not going to be done unless my wife and I grow it.
How important is it for both of you to have that family bond and really the marriage bond to drive this? Because it really seems like you guys are a hell of a team that you lift each other up and have pros and cons to each other's strengths, weaknesses. How important is that for both of you to do this together?
You go first.
Why? So you can.
Yeah, that's right. Good answer. Good answer.
She owes me 50 for that. That's another 50.
We've seen newlyweds before. We know how the game goes.
It's good and bad.
Okay.
Easy.
Even though we'll try to do a date night, and I'm like, no business talk, and every time we do business talk, just because that's just what we love. Yeah, and we want to do it. But it can be very difficult trying to separate the two. It's like I can't complain to him when I get home about my boss because he's my boss. It's very difficult. Sometimes I just want to choke him, but at least, and at work, sometimes I need a hug, and I'll just go take a hug. You know? So
yeah.
Absolutely.
I filed her. I made a complaint to HR about that.
That's awesome.
No, but from my view, I seen my parents grow ministry together with church. They started from the bottom, just them two. My dad was working full time.
And we're talking deliverance, correct?
Yep. My mom was the operational manager. She ran that church, man, put everything the way it's supposed to be. So I have friends that are very successful that have built beautiful companies, man, outstanding things without their spouse. And then when they get back, now from building, you come back, so you're a public success, and kind of like a private failure.
You're right.
And so I didn't want that. So my journey is a little bit slower. Like I haven't got to where I want to go because I still leave to go pick up children from school with her. I start early at
he
home.
Naps. He takes a nap. That's his nap time.
Yeah. I'm in the car.
Asleep.
Yeah.
No wonder I was talking to this guy for an hour.
Yeah, he's like, my spirit is there. But, we get that opportunity, man. We have grandchildren, we have 3. And so it's important to me that they get to see us working and see it, and they talk about entrepreneurship and what they want to do, and our children talk about what they want to do, and to me that's just so important,
And
man.
summers, they're all with us, which I love. I love us, even though we bicker and fight and stuff, but we're all together, and I just love it when we're all together.
Well, and honestly, I think that's something in America that people talk about more and more is the fact that the nuclear family is dying out, and to see that, and the term nuclear family is all positive because it shows how family really can achieve everything together without being individuals. And to hear that, I mean, it's great to know that younger families are becoming that same kind of powerhouse they used to in our country, and that's what I hope we all do because, like you said, you can bicker all you want, but in 20 years you're going to laugh about the bickering and go, remember that day it was 104 degrees? And,
oh, yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And Kayla, Jason, thanks for stopping by today. I told you 15 minutes. I lied to you and kept you for 30, but
it's
this
fine.
was
Thank
fun.
you for having us.
Anytime you want to come on, fill us in on what you're working on, you're more than welcome to. And congratulations to all that you've done so far. And good luck this year. And anytime you want to come back on, tell us about what you're working on and being successful, and we'll be here. And I'll be here tomorrow live at 9 for more of our daily show. So on that note, all of you have a fantastic day. Go outside. It'll be 30 degrees. It'll feel like 125. On that note, have a great one and try your best to stay out of jail.